Hello friends, so far we have understood the concept of filing, the conventional and the modern methods of filing. We have also seen the other latest methods of filing used in large organizations with the frequently used e-filing technique. We have also understood the importance and the essentials of a good filing system with the procedural steps for retrieval and storage of filing. We now move ahead to understand a few other elements that come along with filing. Qualities of good filing system. The efficiency of an office depends on the quality of the filing system. Every office has to adopt one filing system or the other. There is no filing system which can ideally suit all offices, yet a good filing system should possess the qualities of 1. Indexing. If there are a large number of files, the filing system should be supplemented by a well-designed index system. The index helps in quick location of files. How elaborate the index system should be will depend on the number of files and the system of their classification. 2. Proper classification. Proper classification helps in putting the documents in proper files. It also facilitates in locating them in case of need. Systematic classification of records reduces the chances of misfiling. Number of miscellaneous files should be restricted to minimum. 3. Ease of location. It is better to place current records at some nearby place and old records at some obscure place. In many big offices, a separate room or a hall under the charge of supervisor is allocated for storing old records in a systematic manner. To know about the whereabouts of the files taken out guides should be placed in the racks or shelves from where the files have been taken out. 4. Economy. The cost of installing and operating the filing system should correspond with the benefits accruing from it. There is no use of having an elaborate and expensive system of filing when a simple one can do the job. As a measure of economy, records no longer needed should be destroyed. This will ease space problem too, as space is quite costly in big cities. The filing department should use such equipment that occupies less space. 5th, elasticity. An inelastic filing system proves costly when the needs of the business increase. It has to be substituted by a new filing system which involves much additional expenditure. 6th, accessibility. Quick accessibility to records is very essential. Records should be within the reach of the users. Required information should be available within reasonable time. Filing system should allow writing on the papers contained in a file without disturbing their arrangement. A good filing system is one in which the required files and information can be easily found. 7th, safety. It is necessary that records should be kept in such a manner that they remain safe from dust, insects, weather, theft, fraud and mishandling. Certain documents like title deeds of the property, etc., have to be preserved throughout the life of the organization. Such documents should be stored in fireproof almirahs or cupboards or be kept in the custody of the banks. 8th, facility for cross-reference. A good system of filing should permit cross-referencing. Sometimes one letter may be concerned with different files, so arrangements should be made to place a copy of such letter in every relevant file. 9th, simplicity. The system of filing should be simple to understand and easy to operate. It does not, however, mean that if the needs of the office demand a complex or an elaborate type of filing system, it should not be adopted because it is not simple. An office must adopt a system that is suitable for it, but efforts should be made to make it simple. 10th, adequacy. It is essential that the filing system should be adequate for the purpose it is to be used for. The system should meet the requirements of the organization. While over elaborate filing system and sophisticated filing equipment may prove a waste for a small organization, where a few cardboard boxes of file covers may serve the purpose. Yet, an inadequate filing system can defeat the very purpose of filing and can cause delays and loss of business. Overcrowded drawers or cabinets or shelves of racks are a common sight in many offices, indicating clearly of or about inadequacy of existing system of record keeping in the organization. Thus, if the filing system possesses the qualities discussed, it would be more effective in any kind of the office system. To bring greater effectiveness in the filing system, the offices should adopt the system of classification of files. Classification of files. By proper classification, the required files can be located quickly and conveniently. Accessibility to documents to a great extent depend upon the care with which they have been classified. If papers relating to a particular heading or subject have been properly classified, it helps in their proper location. Another advantage of classification is that papers classified under a particular head need the same degree of protection and have to be retained for same period of time. There are 5 broad methods of classifying records: alphabetically, numerically, geographically, chronologically, and combination of different methods. Classification on the basis of various combinations of the methods is also done. Different methods of classification have been discussed. Which of these methods should be adopted will depend on the nature, requirements, and setup of the organization. 1. Alphabetically. Under this method, files are arranged in accordance with the first letter of the subject or the correspondent. For example, the files of those customers whose names or surnames begin with the alphabet A will be arranged separately. If desired, files under each alphabet can be further grouped based on dictionary. If there are many correspondents whose names begin with A, their files will be arranged in strict alphabetical order of subsequent letters too, like AA up to Z, ABA up to Z, BA up to Z, etc. For example, files of Aman, Aishwarya, Arpita will be arranged in that order. For classification, different shelves of racks are allotted to different alphabets. A common practice is to make 26 divisions which are based on 26 alphabets of English. Merits: this method is simple to understand and easy to operate. It is flexible. New files can be added and old files destroyed without disturbing the existing arrangements. The need for maintaining an index of files does not arise. Demerits: it is not possible to demarcate subjects precisely. A letter can appear to be relating to more than one subject. Hence, it may become difficult to decide in which file that letter should be filed or which file should be seen to link that paper in. If the files are arranged on the basis of the names of the correspondents, there will be congestion under alphabet S and R because most of the Indian names begin with these letters. Difficulty will arise if many correspondents will have the same name. Letter relating to one correspondent can do into the file of another correspondent. Difficulty in classification arises when people spell their names differently. For example, one person can spell his name as Mr. Saxena, Saxena, and another as Saksena. This method can suit a medium-sized office where the number of files does not exceed 500 or 600. It is very simple and easy to operate. People are well conversant with the use of dictionary and directories. 2. Numerically. Under this system, each file or folder is given a code number and all the files are placed strictly in that serial order. This is known as consecutive filing. Sometimes a subject is given one number and different files of that subject are given a sub number in the form of decimal number. This is called terminal digital filing. For example, the digit 33 may stand for finance and 33.41 may stand for corporate finance. It is essential to have index of the files which will show the serial number of the particular file. If there is more than one file of any correspondent, the number can be allotted in numbers. For example, if there are 4 files belonging to Messrs. Kumar and his code number is 110, then the files can be coded as 110.1, 110.2, 110.3 and 110.4. The main advantage of terminal digit filing is that even if many files become dead inoperative, there will not be any gaps in serial number. The need to reallocate serial number would never be felt. Merits: under this system, greater accuracy is ensured. It permits unlimited expansion, especially if the numbers are allotted on decimal systems. There can be ease in giving reference numbers to outgoing letters. By giving sender's reference number on the outgoing letter in code language, mention can be made of the file number instead of giving details of the subject. The index can be used for obtaining or collecting other relevant information regarding correspondent. For example, the file index can be used as a list of the address of customers or suppliers. This method is simple to operate and easy to install. Demerits: for locating any file, the index has to be referred to every time. Slight mistake in putting the number of file can cause much inconvenience and lead to misfiling. Much difficulty will be experienced in locating the file if the outside party commits a mistake in citing the reference number of the letter sent to him. Files for miscellaneous papers cannot be easily arranged. Some files become dead after some times, but their serial number continues in the list. With addition of new files, the serial number keeps on swelling, with the result that the list is of current and dead files. This becomes too voluminous to be quickly seen and referred. Third, geographically. Under this system, the files are arranged on the basis of geographical region or area. For example, the files relating to the state of Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh and Punjab will be arranged in that order, and if desired, files relating to different districts of these states can be arranged separately. This system can be used in combination with the alphabetical or numerical systems. For example, files of customers of Madhya Pradesh can further be arranged in alphabetical or numerical order. Merits: this system facilitates direct filing without reference to the index. Reference can be linked if geographical location only is known. Businessman can make an assessment of his success or failure in different regions if the files are kept on geographical basis. He can adopt suitable policies for each region on the basis of analysis of regional information. Demerits: there are chances of misplacement of letters if knowledge of geography of the user is poor. It is difficult to remember the geographical location of all cities in a big country like India. A need for index may be felt if the number of files is too large. Fourth, chronologically. This method is generally used in combination with other methods. For example, files for loans granted to different persons may be arranged first in chronological order and then in alphabetical order, with the result that there will be different files for same debtors for loans granted to him in different years. It is useful when time element is important, as in the case of recovery of outstanding dues or vouchers, etc. But this method can be of hardly any use when used in its pure form. Subject wise. Under this method, files are arranged on the basis of the subject. Papers relating to different subjects like accounts, budget, advertisements, etc. are kept separately. The files of different subjects can be further arranged in alphabetical order. This type of classification proves better where the subject is more important than the name of the correspondent. Files of the same subject relating to different correspondents can be arranged alphabetically so that the system becomes combination of subject and alphabetical classification. Merits: required files can be easily found if their subject is known. This method proves especially useful if the papers of diverse nature relating to a subject have to be kept at one place. For example, if negotiations are going on for the purchase of office premises, entire correspondence on this subject can be found in one file only. It permits unlimited expansion. Demerits: difficulties can arise in classifying papers on the basis of subjects. If a paper or letter relates to more than one subject, a copy of that will have to be placed in every concerned file. If there are a large number of files, especially on the same subject, an index to the file will have to be prepared, and it will have to be referred to every time a file is to be traced. It is not suitable for filing miscellaneous papers. If there is any ambiguity about the subject of a paper, there are chances that it may go to a wrong file and may not be easily traceable when needed. Fifth, combination of different methods. For convenience and efficiency, many combinations of the mentioned systems of classification are also used. For example, geographical classification may be supplemented by alphabetical classification, or subject-wise classification may be supplemented by alphabetical classification. Compound classification helps in increasing the speed of reference. Any subdivision of main classification helps in quick location of files and corrects filing. A. Alphanumerical method. The alphanumerical method is a combination of alphabetical and numerical systems. Under this system, alphabetical classification is supplemented by numerical classification. For example, files of different customers are arranged in alphabetical order, but a number is allotted to different customers whose names begin with A. For example, the file of the customer Akshay may be given the number A13. Here, A stands for the first letter of the name and 13 stands for file number 13 under the head of the alphabet. This system offers the advantages of both the alphabetical and numerical systems. It has the ease of alphabetical system and accuracy of the numerical system too, but this system is quite complicated. This system is widely used in big offices for filing information about customers, clients, etc. Thus, classification of files according to a suitable method will bring greater efficiency and effectiveness in the offices. But this would only help in location of records and documents in the classified files. At the same time, the office has to carefully and seriously look into the maintenance of documents and records. Documentation and records maintenance. Documents and records constitute the memory of the entire organization. They contain a tangible, written, pictorial or otherwise evidence of the organizations. Records include letters, circulars, reports, deeds of agreements, invoices, vouchers, pictures, graphs, books of accounts, minutes of meetings, etc. Records may be classified into various categories. Correspondence records. These include letters, notices, memoranda, circulars, etc. are received or sent by the organization. Accounting records. These include the accounts relating to sales, purchase, manufacturing, stock and many other things. They also include vouchers, invoices, etc., evidencing various accounting transactions. Legal records. Such records are maintained to serve as proofs in legal proceedings and also include the records to be maintained under various statutes like the Income Tax Act, the Companies Act and so on. Personal records. These include the records relating to the personnel of the organization like personal histories, performance records, labor turnover records, accident data and so on. Miscellaneous records. Under this category, records relating to the activities of the enterprise which were not covered earlier are included. Example, advertising campaigns, product improvement and market research. Records constitute the reservoir of information relating to the activities of the organization on which that management can take its decisions. Therefore, records must be maintained efficiently and up to date because a business decision is good as the facts and figures on which it is based. To make it more effective, it is necessary to remember the object of maintaining records. Objectives of maintaining records. The basic objectives of maintaining records in an organization are: 1. Future reference. Records are memory of the business which can be used in future for taking decisions. 2. Evidence. Records are an important aid when it becomes necessary to refer to the past records. Thus, they serve as written proof of the transactions. 3. Barometer of the progress. Records facilitate evaluation of performance and comparison of the working of the enterprise during different periods. Third, barometer of progress. Records facilitate evaluation of performance and comparison of the working of the enterprise during different periods. They are also useful for comparing it with the other organizations in the line. Fourth, reduces error. If the records are kept properly, they may form a very essential part of any system of internal control. One of the important objects of maintaining records is to minimize chances of errors and check against frauds. Fifth, decision making. Records constitute an important tool in the hands of management. In modern business, vital decisions may be based on relevant and up-to-date information. Risks are apt to crop up when executives base their decisions on guesses instead of proper facts and figures. Sixth, efficiency. A good system of record keeping makes available to the management the required information with speed and accuracy. It brings efficiency in office operations. Seventh, legal obligations. Records are also kept in compliance with provisions of different statutes. Example, maintenance of statutory books under the Indian Companies Act 1956, etc. In order to achieve the mentioned objectives, record keeping must have regard to some essential points. 1. Simplicity. There should be simplicity in record keeping. Records should be maintained according to the requirements of the organizations so as to facilitate comprehension. 2. Accuracy. Records should be preserved accurately so as to reduce the chances of errors and frauds. 3. Economy. The cost of maintaining and providing records is also an important factor which the office manager has to keep in mind. 4th, usefulness. Records should be useful for better management of the affairs of the business. Record keeping should retention of papers not needed. Along with the essential pins, it is important to understand the principles of record keeping too. Principles of record keeping. 1. The objectives of keeping the record have been mentioned. If the records are maintained without any justifiable purpose, it will amount to a waste of valuable resources like efforts, time, money and space. 2. A record which is not capable of verification. 3. Records may be classified according to A. Time or chronologically, or B. Subjects so as to be useful for analysis. 4th, the main objective of keeping the records is to provide the information when needed with speed and accuracy. It is of no use to keep records if they are not available when asked for. 5th, the cost of maintaining and providing records should be justified for their usefulness for taking decisions. That means maintenance of records should be effective and economical. 6th, records must keep minimum quantum of information sufficient to run the office in the best possible way. Records should be maintained in a concise form so that valuable space is not wasted. 7th, the system of record keeping must be elastic so that it may be expanded or contracted according to the circumstances. 8th, records should be retained only for the period for which they are required. For this purpose, it may be necessary to classify the records in 3 types. A. Permanent records which must be retained as long as the business continues, as deeds of agreements, certificate of registration, documents of title, etc. B. Records required to be maintained for a specific period such as correspondence, vouchers, counterfoils, daybook, etc. and other records such as enquiries, routine correspondence which may be retained for the current period. Example, 6 months. With the understanding of the objectives and principles of record keeping, let us now understand what record management is all about. Records management. Record management may be broadly divided as the systems of coordination of activities of making, administering, retaining, submitting and disposing of records of the organization. Records management is that area of office management which deals with the records of management. Most experts concur that responsibility for filing of records, retrieving of information, establishing retention and destroying schedules and microfilming can be considered important activities with which records management deals. They claim the complete life cycle of a record, making, using, preserving and destruction is within the scope of records management. Stages of records management. Records management includes all activities designed to control the life cycle of a record from its creation to its ultimate disposition. The life cycle of records involves certain stages. A. Creation of records. It involves design and control of office forms. Data should be recorded in the forms accurately and completely. The time period for which the records are to be kept should also be determined properly. B. Storage of records. Under the second stage, records are properly classified and put into appropriate file covers and folders. The folders are then kept in the suitable filing equipment. The records should be stored at an accessible location and arrangements should be made for their protection. C. Retrieval of records. The purpose of maintaining records is to make them available for future reference. Therefore, an efficient filing procedure should be designed to retrieve the records in the least possible time. The retrieval stage also involves tracing the files not returned by the users. There should be a proper procedure for the issue of files. D. Disposal of records. A record retention schedule is made under which records are classified into various categories like records required forever and records required for different periods ranging from 3 months to 25 years. Valuable documents are preserved in waterproof and fireproof cabinets. Less important records which are not in current use should be transferred from high cost storage area to low storage area. Friends, we have therefore understood the various concepts related to filing without which filing cannot be effective. We have also tried to understand the meaning and importance of record keeping and record management, which makes filing more effective for utilization. With this, we conclude our session. Thank you.